Joe Adkins joins us on the Little Caesars Hunt Ray Hotline. Hey, man.
What's going on, Zach?
Not much, man. Have you had a can you give me the can it roll off the tongue your most embarrassing game ever? Can you remember it?
Yeah, I can remember.
Give me the details.
I was on an exhibition team, and I had torn my ACL. It was my first game back, and we had played an exhibition game versus OU. I went 0 for 10 from 3.
Oh my God! And it was in Norman.
Yes.
Oh, Joe. Woo.
Yes.
That does hurt. That does hurt. Well, I was just only reason I'm asking that is we're talking about Steph Curry. Would you think that if I asked Steph Curry right now what the most embarrassed he has ever been about a performance is, would his answer be last night?
Maybe. But it could be, some of that could be just considering that we're watching this on national television, but I'm sure it may be one. There's not many games, if he has any, that were worse than last night. I mean, he just, he's always, and the thing is about Steph Curry, some of the things that he does that makes him great, he's always careless with the ball. I mean, he makes turnovers, but he makes a lot of great plays. But his assist-to-turnover ratio, and he makes them in crunch time. Like, he's turned it over trying to make, like, a home run play several times throughout the regular season. But they've been fortunate enough to win, or he makes a play to make up for that play that we really don't really talk about it much. But he has a tendency to kind of make mistakes like we seen last night in magnified situations. He was just going against a guy that was LeBron James that was very determined, and a team that was determined, and is truly definitely not giving up on this series.
Well, how much of this game or how much of this series so far has made you change your mind on how the series will end up?
I don't think so. I still think Golden State wins. Now, I think the series may go a little longer. And, the thing is, we talk about Steph Curry goes 5 for 23, and we talk about Dellavedova. The thing is about role players is now he's a starter. So doing it for one night, it's not good enough. That just wins you one game. When you're good or great, you just win that game. You have to be great for 4 nights. Now, can those role players for Cleveland, can they be great for 4 nights? And that's what it's going to take. I don't know if they can do that because they just haven't been put in that situation enough. I don't believe they have the experience.
Has your opinion, how much, if at all, Joe Adkins with us, how much, if at all, has your opinion changed on Dellavedova over the last couple of nights?
He is what he is. I think what we saw last night, I mean, that's the type of player he is. He's a gritty player. He's gutty. He's a guy that's not afraid to take the challenge defensively of exceptional point guards. He got Derrick Rose last series. He done a great job covering him. Last night against Steph Curry, he does another good job. So he's a guy that's willing to accept that challenge, and he's not afraid of the moment. Now, he may not always succeed, but he's not bashful in the moment. I think that was a huge play, just a tough play. He makes tough plays just to go get that rebound. That's a play that most point guards don't make just because they're actually supposed to be getting back on defense. So that was just the way he plays, he makes those kind of winning plays that really we may not value in the stat sheet, but as a team you have to have a guy like him.
Yeah, and I get that.
A guy like him to be successful.
Yeah, and I'm with you too. I think I even wrote it down because I thought you made a great point. Starters have to come and be great for 4 games. Dellavedova, you just proved it. You talked about the other 2 series, and it was kind of you in both cases against both the Hawks and against the Bulls. I personally, you probably remember more, but I personally can only remember one game in each of those series in which Dellavedova made a real difference.
He made a huge impact, yes.
And maybe last night was the one and only game for him in this spot. But can you do that over the course of an entire series when you are no longer just a reserve? You are a starter. Did you feel at all? The thing that got me, Joe Adkins with us, is that Dellavedova looked lost against Klay Thompson, but he seemed to do okay against Steph Curry. Is that just Steph Curry was just having a bad night, or what am I missing there?
Sometimes there's tendencies, and because Klay Thompson is more of a guy that he's going to go make his decision and he's going to go, where Steph Curry is a guy where he might take you one direction, come back the other way, and then come back. He's more herky-jerky with his, so maybe he can time his dribble, and maybe he was able to be able to read what he was going to do more often, because a lot of things he does, he's setting you up to get off a jump shot, though. He can break you down to get layups, but not very often. He does it in timely situations, but he's a guy that he'll just pull up from 17, 18 feet. So maybe he had got comfortable and was able to time his rhythm of how he was pounding it, or just watching the guy and how he plays. Maybe he has a feel where you got a guy that's more of a shooter first that plays off the catch and rather than playing off the dribble in Klay Thompson, where you don't see his waist, where he shows you shot fakes in different ways to get you off balance. So it's completely different when you cover those guys, although you want to keep the same principles, because they're two separate types of scores.
Joe Adkins with us. What do you say to the person who, and there were a couple of these last night who were saying this to me, what do you say to the person that says David Blatt is out-coaching Steve Kerr?
He very well could be, but if he is, I don't think that's making the difference in the series. I don't think the sidelines are where it's a mismatch. I think these games have come down to possessions, and when it comes down to possessions, each possession is magnified. If you don't get shots and you turn it over, and that other team is getting a shot every time, they're probably going to beat you. It's more of a style of play where the adjustment was made at the beginning of the series. I don't think they changed the way they played, and David Blatt is that they're putting the ball in their best players' hands. They found a way to keep Golden State out of transition. And if you can do that, I've always said that if you can keep Golden State out of transition, they become a much more beatable team, because now it's a lot harder to make threes with guys in front of you than when you're running free and you're able to get open. When those guys see the rim by themselves, they're going to make those shots. Cleveland has been able to take those. They've minimized those shots, so they haven't been able to get in rhythm and really able to go on those huge runs, because Cleveland is forcing them to have to play in the half court.
Can the Warriors win these games in Cleveland with the pace the way it is right now?
Well, they can win them because they were right there. They're right there to win the game. I mean, I wouldn't, if I'm Cleveland, you're not banking on Steph Curry going 5 for 23 again.
Right.
So you're going to have to feel that, yeah, you might hold them to 95, but it's the thing about LeBron, he's not shooting the ball well, but he makes timely baskets. When it comes time to make a play, he's able to make the play and put it in the hole. There's nothing more. You can, if you can go 7 for 17, but 6 of those buckets are in the fourth quarter, well, those are big baskets. You throw the percentages out. Of course, you want to shoot a higher percentage. And this has been the thing with LeBron. There's been so many more playoffs back when he was younger where he was much more efficient. I mean, this is by far, once after this, his shooting percentage will be down more than we've ever seen it in the playoffs. But just the moments and how this is, this by no question to me, this has been the best playoffs he's ever had. And he hasn't really been as efficient, but we've seen all the things that we say he can't do. His will to win, his toughness, we've seen all that. And so now we're just watching a great player involved. So rather than us just trying to compare everything with Michael Jordan, he had his time. Now it's LeBron James' time. We can pay more attention to watching this greatness, because in reality he's actually doing things that no one's ever seen done before. So we may be watching the greatest player now.
Joe, how bad were the refs last night?
Man, that is unbelievable. I've never
so
been
bad
a ref.
it's unbelievable.
Man, I've never been a huge ref fan, and refs.
You don't say. Joe Adkins, you don't say, was never a big fan of the refs.
Yeah, well, the thing I've always said is, for some reason, the ref was always the guy that's given the benefit of the doubt of being a good guy, when in reality, he can have the least amount of integrity and really control who wins the game. When you give somebody that much power and we don't question them at all, I have a problem with that. Because just like we say they're human, with that fact, because they're human, that's how I know that they may cheat or make bad calls on purpose, because that is the human factor in it. And I'm not saying it happens all the time. I'm just saying whenever I watch games, I always pay attention to the refs.
And for the record, it didn't help one team or another last night. It was just incompetence from the refs last night.
I mean, I don't know if there's travel. Maybe they're not playing travels, or I don't know what's going on. I mean,
consistency was there.
The best was
that's the main thing. I guess we do want consistency.
That's right.
The best was the one where LeBron travels right in front of the official. They don't call it. Then he gets slapped on the arm, and they don't call it either.
The hack on LeBron, just him being hacked in that big spot. I mean, and Jeff Van Gundy was right. That could have been a series-altering non-call by that ref, a terrible non-call.
Yep.
Finally, Joe, hard-hitting questions before we let you out the door here. If I have a Texas Hold'em hand, and the goal of our Texas Hold'em game is to have the best dessert, and my Hold'em hand, I pull over I have bread pudding in my hand. That's what I've got. I've got bread pudding in the hole. And I'm all in.
You have bread pudding? What does that mean?
I have bread pudding. That means that's my hand. My hand is bread pudding. I'm all in. What hand do you have that's going to beat my hand?
Is bread pudding your favorite?
Well, yeah, and it's the best.
Oh, okay. So that's your aces. Your bread pudding.
I got my What's your?
Yeah, in his opinion, bread pudding is pocket aces. What is it in your opinion? Like 10-7 offsuit?
I would say peach cobbler. I'll take peach cobbler.
Oh, peach cobbler's good.
Yeah, I think I got him beat.
It's no blackberry cobbler, but it's good.
I think I got him beat. See you later, Joe.
All right, guys. Good talking to you.